Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second workshop for the social media webinar. Um, Today's workshop is on content creation bootcamp webinar. It's going to be, we're going to teach you the basics of graphic design, video production, editing, and writing engaging caption using tools like Canva, InShot, and more. Presenters today, myself, John B. Yang, founder and CEO of Digital Synergy, executive director of AABRN. We have Jang, who is our moderator, and Ellie Mariyo. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Mariyo, it's okay.
Okay. She is our special guest today, social media strategist, influencer. So we're excited to have her on board to teach us this cohort here webinar. We'll go to the next slide. A little bit of housekeeping. Today's webinar is sponsored by Elevate Hennepin. It's to support entrepreneurs and small businesses in Hennepin County. To learn more information, you can access the link on the PowerPoint slide here. We'll be sharing this out once we're done with the webinar. Also, just to let you all know that we'll be recording this session and we'll be posting the recordings on our website. Incentive on this cohort, if you attend 6 out of 8 webinars, you'll be qualified for the grant application, which through Hennepin County, they'll cover up to 75% and up to $1,500 in any type of technology purchase that you make. And if you have any questions, feel free to type into the chat and we'll monitor that and answer as we go. We'll also leave some time at the end for any Q&A. And halfway in between, if you need a 5-minute break, let us know. We can give you a 5-minute break. With that being said, we'll hand it over to Ellie. It's all yours, Ellie.
Thank you so much, John, for that wonderful introduction. I'll do a short intro because I really want to get to the heart of what we're here to talk about today, which is content creation. And I was telling John and Jeng before, I was like, I'm so excited. So just a little bit about me. My name is Ellie Mariyo, and I am a content creator. I'm an influencer. I've got 100,000 followers on Instagram, and that was 95,000 of that was in just about 1 year. I've got 161,000 followers on TikTok, 17,000 followers on Facebook. If you're new to Threads, Threads is very new. I got about 8,000 followers on there, but it's an audience of over 275,000 that I have built in the last 2 years. And it's been through content creation. A lot of what I do is fashion, it's health and wellness, and some lifestyle content. So lifestyle, I'll share like dancing or traveling. I love to do stuff like that. And if this will show, yes, so this is my blog as well. This is very new. I just launched, but this is where I'll be able to really connect with my followers a little bit more. So that's very important to me. And I wanted to share, let me see if I can move this panel over, some of the ebooks that I've written. So just to kind of show you guys all of this is done with tools that we'll be discussing today. The highlights that you see with the green circles on my Instagram, the ebooks, everything was done with tools that we're going to see today. So I want to just see in the chat, I want to kind of get an understanding of where everybody's coming from. What business are you in? Like, is it a service? Is it a digital product? What do you sell? What service do you provide? I'd love to see that in the chat. Let me see too, because my cursor, and Jang, you might have to read some stuff out. My cursor is being so weird. I don't want to accidentally press something I'm not supposed to. Okay. I see we've got some responses coming in. Let me see if I can click. Okay, I can click on it. Okay, John, yes, digital marketing and web design, service and digital product. Being agile, what type of service digital product are you providing?
Oh, you provide trainings on agile project management, and I also write books.
Oh, okay. What kind of books?
I write books about project management, leadership, how to be a good servant leader, steps on how to start integrating yourself in organizations, especially focusing on helping the minority community.
I love that. It's very much needed. You know, project, like, because when you say agile, is that kind of like project management? That's what that makes me think
Yes.
of. And so
Mm.
many, I think in business, right? They're like thinking, okay, we have this goal and like here we are, we want to get here. And they kind of think it'll just happen. But you need that project management. So I think that's a really big skill that's missing, even in my organization. So I also work in marketing for State Farm. So I've done that for the last 6 years. And they were talking about how project management is just a skill set within the organization that they need more people, right, who have that skill set. So it's a great skill set. What's that last chat comment say? I can't see it.
I'm just sharing my my work, Beautiful Brown Girl, providing services and products.
Mhm.
Under the weather, so bear with me, but supporting the empowerment of Black and Brown girls.
What kind of products do you do?
They haven't been launched yet. They're in the prototype phase, but products of affirmation cards, journals, and then statement t-shirts reinforcing the messaging of being a beautiful brown girl.
I love that. And I bet
Mhm.
Etsy is really usually a good platform for that as well. And you can do some really cool videos on Instagram for that and TikTok. I would say TikTok more. Okay. And I think there's one more in the chat that I'm not seeing. Oh, no, that was yours. That was yours, Fatima. Okay, great. So what we're going to discuss today, we are going to have a quick little overview about content types, what to post and where. We're going to talk about your content space, basic tools that you need, the basic setup. And I'm laughing because when I talk about lighting, you're going to be like, her lighting's not the best. She's a content creator, but I have my lighting coming from the left because my typical content creation space is further back. So my light is usually standing right where I'm sitting. I'll demo how to do Canva, InShot, which is a video editor you can use on your phone, ChatGPT, which will help you write captions. It'll help you with writing your ebook that you're working on. It'll help you with writing product descriptions. And then we'll do CapCut as well, which is a video editor that is great either on your mobile or on your computer, but I think it has a lot of great templates. And of course, questions, my favorite part. So what is the purpose of content? I typically like interactions in the chat because I think it helps with picking up what we're talking about. So what do you all think the purpose of content is? Why are we creating video and all these photos? Why are we spending time doing this? And you can come off of audio as well, off your microphone if you want as well. And Jake,
Engagement.
engagement, okay.
So be able to express yourself and your gifts.
Okay. Anything else? And that I don't know why, but it's not letting me do the chat and have my screen share at the same time. So if there's anything I'm missing in the chat, just let me know. But I would say like the engagement was very close. We're creating content to build a closer relationship with your audience. I think relationships in life are extremely important. It's the backbone of kind of everything we do, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, it's business relationships. We do life together. Like one of my core values is that I don't think we're meant to do life alone. So I feel like when we're creating content, we are reaching out to somebody else, whether our next door neighbor or there's someone on the other side of the world. We're doing that to connect with them and to grow and have a deeper relationship with them. So when you're creating content, having that in mind, acting as if you're actually doing this for a person who, pretend they're standing right in front of you, right? What would you say to them? That's a great perspective to go into when you're creating content. So content types. I hope this isn't repetitive. There's a lot of different types of content that you can post. There's a whole position in marketing called content marketing, where you're literally writing blogs, ebooks, white papers, captions, product descriptions. You're writing everything content. And all of those different types of content have a home where they're best promoted and they're going to get you the best engagement. and help you reach the right people. So videos, we've got two forms of video that can happen with the different platforms: short form video and long form video. So with short form video, this is now the leading way to talk to people, to engage with your audience. Thanks to TikTok, a little bit to COVID as well, because TikTok wouldn't have been where it was, gotten where it was without that. So a little bit thanks to that. And then short form video is best used for TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook has Reels as well, and YouTube Shorts. So YouTube Shorts, they've been really pushing that lately. And if you didn't know, if you want to be a part of their partner program where you can start putting ads on your videos and getting paid because of those ads, you only need 500 subscribers and either 3,000 hours watched of traditional YouTube videos or 3 million watched of shorts, which I know that sounds like 3 million views, in the last 30 days, 3 million views. I know that sounds like a lot, but when you start churning out this content, it becomes a lot easier to hit that number. Short form video have high engagement rates. Unfortunately, attention span is not what it used to be. So short form video tends to perform a little bit better than long form, just because it might be 7 seconds, 15 seconds, 20-second video where you're sharing some information. It's great for if you're going to do quick tips, aesthetic videos where you have all these different cuts. If you got a new product coming out, you could do a teaser clip, kind of like Apple does when they have their phone come out and they'll show like the shadow of the phone, the device, and they'll have the different lights coming down. You can do cool teaser clips like that with short form video. Best practices. So TikTok, 15 to 60 seconds. You can upload to 10 minutes individual videos. And they haven't started just yet. I would say like 3 minutes max right now. They are pushing anywhere from like 15 seconds to 3 minutes, but your best bet for the best engagement is going to be 15 to 60 seconds. And if you do a 3-minute video, if you have something to say and it's going to take you 3 minutes, you could just cut it up and do different parts and encourage people to engage to get the next part. Instagram, less than 30 seconds. They love these. I remember it was like 5-second videos when I first started, like that was just hitting every time. Not a lot you can do in 5 seconds. So I would say for me now, it's more like 15 to 20 seconds. Sometimes if I'm doing a haul, it'll be 60 seconds and still get great engagement because people want to see the different clothes. So if you have something like that where it's building up and people want to see this final look, you can do longer videos with that. Facebook, right around 1 minute. YouTube Shorts, less than 60 seconds. So like I said, TikTok made short form content famous because right after TikTok, Instagram was like, we're going to start doing Reels and we're going to start pushing them. Facebook, they're kind of the same entity, right? So Facebook said the same thing. And then YouTube came out with it. I'm a little bit upset about that because I feel like every platform is kind of merging into the other one. But the good thing for you as a business is that, like, when I create a reel for Instagram, and this is actually how I got my 17,000 followers on Facebook, I was having Instagram automatically post to my Facebook for me. And before I knew it, I looked up, I hadn't even checked. I looked up and I had 10,000 followers. And then I looked up again and I had 17,000. And that's just from having it automatically post. So the good thing is you can create one piece of content and have it be applicable to multiple platforms. This is kind of typically, a short form is typically done portrait, right? It's a vertical like this. You'll typically see short form content. I don't see a lot of short form content done horizontally. So this is just an example of what it might look like on the platform. And when it comes to long form video, popular because of YouTube, which this should be no surprise. If you don't know, YouTube is the second largest search engine behind Google. Like, how smart was Google to acquire YouTube? They've got 1 and 2. It's best to use on YouTube and Facebook. Those are the platforms that are primed for long form content, and any platform that deals with podcasting as well. It's great for tutorials. So if you are in a restaurant or like anything to do with like baking or something, you could do a tutorial on like your world famous apple pie, right? Or something like that, or behind the scenes, day in the life. So if people want to, if you want to show people how you work, what your typical day is, and a day in the life doesn't have to be your actual day. You want to think about it as the highlights of what you would do maybe across a week. So you go to the gym, you might go hang out with a friend. Like that would be all the content that you cut together for a day in the life. Fantastic for interviews. I'm working with a company right now. They're starting a new media company here in Chicago, and they want to interview creatives in the Chicago area. So we've been talking about that and talking about how they can use that content posted on YouTube, again, to become part of that partner program. But the great thing I would say, if you're someone who likes to speak longer, have things, more drawn out, the good thing with doing long form content is you can then cut it up later. So make sure you're far enough away from the camera, right? Like I'd probably be back here. And so this would be long form. And then when I get ready to cut it, I'll chop it right here. So it'll fit perfectly on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Tend to have lower engagement rates. It might not be the case on YouTube, I'll say, but if you compare them, if they were side by side, short form is going to tend to have more engagement. Best practices, YouTube, 10 to 15 minutes is your sweet spot. And I love it now because you can actually add little chapters and show people if they're looking for specific information and what you're talking about, they can immediately click to that part of the video. Facebook up to 10 minutes, webinars 30 minutes to 2 hours. We're right at the top of it, John, the 2 hours. And then podcasts 30 to 90 minutes. Podcasts, I mean, you can listen in your car. People love podcasts. So that is, like I said, this is typically what you'll see with long form. It'll be on YouTube. And then same thing with podcasting. That's why I see the most with long form. Another type of content, images. So when it comes to images, there's two types when you're posting that you can use. So you can either do a single post, it's just one thing, or a carousel post. And we're going to talk about the best practices when it comes to when to use what and why. So with the single post, the pros to this, very easy to produce, obviously just one image, easy for someone to focus on. The cons, though, is you don't get to do as much information because, again, it's just one post. You don't want to bombard it with text. I know specifically on Instagram, they don't tend to like or show images that have a lot of text. So you want to make it, that's kind of why infographics, anything where you can make the information more visual, that will help. Less engagement, again, not that much information, so it makes sense that it be less engagement. But single posts, I would say, work really well with Twitter. They work great with Threads. So Threads, if you don't know what Threads is Instagram's Twitter, basically, or Meta's Twitter. Meta said, hey, we want to, like Twitter, Elon Musk bought it. Hey, we're trying to compete with Twitter now. So Threads, I kind of like it, but I find that single posts they perform better on my channel at least, but that's just been what I've seen. They perform better than if I did like 2 or 3 posts, just given the way the platform is set up. Even Facebook, single images still work good on Facebook. It needs to be a compelling image, and then you can tell your story in the caption. So with single post, I always think about it's okay to have a longer caption because of the limited information. So this might be an example of the single post. And this is one of mine. This is Miss Marketing Maven. I rebranded to just Ellie Mariyo Media, but this is an example. So a cycle of self-doubt. And you see how it's very visual, not a lot of text, but what I've said at the bottom is, how it can affect your success on social media. Read the caption for details. So this is an example of an image that provides value. It's not too busy, and it's directing them to the caption. This would be good for a single post. Now, when we get into carousel posts, so carousel posts is multiple images, more storytelling potential, which storytelling is so important today. People really want to connect with you. Gone are the days really where you try to say things like those kind of like really not, they're very catchy things where you're like 5 ways to do this or 3 ways to do that. People want to hear a story. So you might start out with the question. You could say something like, do you know how annoying it is to live in a chaotic world? Or something very bold. I don't know. I was thinking about your business being agile consulting. You said something about being a chaotic world and the need for organization, and kind of tell a story. Or, hey, one time when I was young, X, Y, and Z happened. Not that you'd be able to do this with a carousel. You would a little bit, but that's just an idea with video. That's kind of what storytelling would sound like. Higher engagement. It's higher engagement because people are staying there longer, because they see the first image, they're swiping. So people are staying there much longer. And versatility, there's a lot you can do with the carousel post. Some of the cons for this one, more work, because instead of 1 image, you might be anywhere from 4 to 6 images. Sometimes I will post 10 images, and I'll just vary, like maybe it's 1 photo shoot that I've done, and I might include a picture of one of my threads that says something interesting, or a link to my blog in one of them, something like that. Risk of overload. So you do want to be careful with how much information you put on the carousel. But this works fantastic on Instagram. And recently, so when TikTok first came out, Instagram said, okay, we're going to start prioritizing video. But people were like, you're the photo app. We love photos. So very recently, probably mid last year, they said, you know what, we're going to go back to prioritizing photos, but they've really been in favor of the carousel post because it has higher engagement and it keeps people on the platform longer. It's great on Instagram, fantastic on LinkedIn. I can't tell you how many of like the top, so LinkedIn is depending on what your business is, and this might actually be great for you being agile consulting. LinkedIn might be a great platform because you're going after professionals. But on LinkedIn, the top 1% on LinkedIn account for 99% of the content. So then the amount of the top 1% where I've seen where they do carousel post, and it could be in that tweet format, right? And people just swipe through to get these 12 tips or these 10 steps. Like that works great on LinkedIn. TikTok, if you didn't know, TikTok is now in favor of posting photos. So they're starting to push photos as well. And it's a carousel format that you can do. And they also have stories as well. So that's why I said, like, it feels sometimes like the platforms are folding in on each other, but it's good for us because we can now create one thing in one way and have it apply to multiple platforms. So it cuts down the work that we need to do. For carousel post, it's great for step-by-step guides, quick tutorials that you could do, photo dumps linked to an experience. So I went to Portugal on a girls' trip with my friends last summer. So I would do like different carousel posts. I had a partnership with Virgin Voyages. And so instead of posting a reel every single time to talk about it, I would do a carousel post of like, this was day 2 on the ship. So that's really some good ideas for carousel posts. And here's kind of what that would look like. So questions to ask when partnering with influencers. Do we have a similar audience? Can I afford the partnership? Let's see, I created these. These might be a little too much text actually, but I think just seeing the flow of it. So we've got, is it going back? Let me see. So we've got questions to ask. So what I might have done is put 5 questions to ask. So let them know what to expect. So there's the 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. Okay, that was 3 questions. Yeah. And then summary and want more, comment this, and I'll DM you a list. Did someone come off mic?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's me.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you had a question.
Not at all. My apologies. I thought I had my mic off this whole time and I'm under the weather, so my apologies.
That's okay. But carousel posts, you want to have a flow to it. So yeah, like I said, it can either be photos linked to an experience. Maybe you're sharing 3 tips. Like this is the place to do the tips, and the 5 steps is in the carousel post. The videos is for storytelling. Stories, not the storytelling, but this is like in the Instagram stories. You have YouTube, well, yeah, YouTube shorts, I probably wouldn't do it there, but Instagram stories, and now you have TikTok stories. I'm not a big fan of Snapchat, but I imagine it would be great on Snapchat as well. Content there is usually like short behind the scenes moments. So sometimes like I don't always look, dressed up for my audience. When I'm doing my actual videos that I'm going to post, yes. But in the stories is where I can just like, hey, I woke up this morning, and I might like do like a little picture, or something, or I might get on a video. Like today I talked about how it's so cold outside and I have this desire to go outside all of a sudden where I didn't before. Like, what is that about? So it's kind of, when you think about stories, you want to remember Seinfeld. Your stories are a show about nothing. That's literally how Seinfeld's described, and that's one of the most successful shows ever. But it's just you, like it might be, if you have a physical product, you could do a story of you packing up, orders. If you're working with different clients, you could do a story of you sitting in front of your desk, writing and working on an ebook. So it's really a show about nothing. It's behind the scenes moments, polls or questions. I love getting interaction from my audience with the polls and questions. I'll ask them, hey, how is it in your neck of the woods? Like, what's going on with the weather there? And then for promotion, because they have the interactive elements, things like links that you can add to stories. And we'll go over each of them. So stories is where you're really able to continue building that deeper connection with your audience. Less is more. This is something I have learned. Really 5 to 6 stories in a day is what will keep you getting the highest engagement. If you're posting 10, 15, people are just going to fall off. It's too much to consume. So 5 to 6 really like strong stories is good. Maybe you start out, the first one is, hey, in the morning, talking about what you're going to do that day. The second one is updating them on how things are going. Maybe the third one is a picture of you like finishing something that you've been working on. The fourth one could be a question about it. And the fifth one could be a link to whatever it is. Great for days that you don't post. I would say, like, if I could go back and completely redo my pathway on social media, one thing, the reason I was able to grow 95,000 in 1 year on Instagram is because I was very locked into Instagram. That was my main platform. But like I said, I was having it just cross post to Facebook for me. I was very locked into Instagram. And I was also committed to posting 5 times a week. So not every day, but pretty like every other day, pretty much. I was very committed to doing that. And a lot of it is one, getting used to building that consistency. And you need that if you're going to do content, if you're going to be on social media. That's pretty much, there's 2 rules, right? It's great content and being consistent. And if you do those 2 things, it's not a matter of if you will be successful, it's a matter of when. So building that consistency is great. And it also helps you when you do it faster in that sense, right? When you're posting more, you're learning faster. So I started learning more what my audience likes. I've learned how to create content a lot faster than when I first started. Like, this is going to be a learning curve, but if you're consistent and you're committed to doing it, it will get easier and easier and easier. Like now I'm planning, I was like, you can't see it, but I've got my clothing rack back here, and I'm planning on doing like pink and red outfits for the whole month of February, like that, like a different color each month this year. And in doing that, it's like I already know I could create pretty much 20 pieces. Like I could create the assets for 20 pieces of content, if not more, in 1 weekend. Okay. So it's a learning curve, but you have to start and you have to be committed to being consistent to understand what you need to do it faster and more efficiently. Stories also creates fear of missing out. because people know that stories is kind of where you post stuff that you just wouldn't really post on your, you wouldn't post it in your feed. So it does create that FOMO effect. And like I say, it's great with the interactive feature, the polls, the questions, and the links to other websites and other products. So you can use the stories and they can be very polished. So this is an example. I have very polished stories for my highlights on Instagram because I think of my highlights, it's an extension of who I am and my brand. It's a way for when people come visit my profile, they're able to get to know me. For businesses, it's great to have an introductory highlight and say, here's who I am. Like, let people get to see your face. I'm the founder of such and such. This is why I do what I do. Great with the intro. The second one could be reviews. So you could post screenshots of different reviews that customers have had about your services or your products. You could do even one where you have your products and you link to each of your different products within your highlights. So highlights is a great place for anything that is evergreen. So evergreen meaning it's not dependent on a season or a time of year. Like you could post it anytime and it would be relevant. So anything in that sense, yes. So I did like a little intro, I talked about my travels, and then I promoted my ebooks. They can also be like this, where they're very unpolished. So I was talking about, I think I was talking about the cold in this one too, about how I love looking at the snow, but I hate being out in it. And the second one, I did a face mask and was just sharing and being silly. And the last one was something I posted on my threads that I decided to share and post in my Instagram stories. So yeah, you can play with stories and see how you want to do it. Other thing, which I think is our last thing, it might be the last thing, captions. So captions are content. That is where, and it's good to put things, I'll see some of the top influencers putting different keywords in their caption. And that's very important because the search engine, they are able to crawl that. Instagram itself is going to be crawling that to see how can I show this person the most relevant content. So making sure that your captions are intentional, they're engaging, and I like to have like little witty captions. So the length, that's kind of the big question here. I think for shorter captions for videos is best because you want people to look at the video and not have so much in the caption. People are kind of getting tired of that. It'll be that, and you'll see the 5-second videos where they might say, how did I do such and such? And it'll wait the 5 seconds. And at the very last second, it would be like, read the caption. Though people are kind of getting tired of those videos. But you can certainly try them to see how they perform. It might be an industry thing. Can be longer for images. I think that's like a given, especially if it's like a single post, carousel post. You can usually tell a longer story when it's images. It's a great place for your call to action. So telling them to, and this will be more so when we talk, because I'll be doing the social media management webinar as well in 2 weeks. So you know how you'll see someone, I'll just give y'all the tip now though, since you're here. You know how you'll see someone say, comment such and such, and I'll DM you the link. They're not DMing individually to 1,000 people. They're not. There is a software called ManyChat that allows you to immediately, like the trigger is when they put a word in the comment and it'll immediately send them a DM if that word matches. So yes, this is a great place for call to action. That has been a game changer when it comes to sending outfit ideas to my audience. So, because I'm on like so many different platforms. So it's great to have ManyChat where I can immediately send them where they need to go and not just say link in bio. It adds more value and it should complement your post and of course tell a story. You can ask open-ended questions as well to encourage engagement. If you're not doing the comment such and such, I would ask a question, an open-ended question. Let me see. Here's some examples. So this is a caption. I would consider this one long. So my thing is like, if you scroll up and if you scroll up to the bottom of your post, so we're at the bottom here and it's still going, it's probably too long. So this for me is like perfect. Like this is long. This video got 2,000 likes. I don't remember how many views. I think it has like over 20 or 30,000 views. And then this is an extremely short caption. This one has about 30,000 views and it got 1,400 likes, 176 comments. This is, 2 lines, right? Very short. And this one was somewhere in the middle. So you see that it performed well also. It was, yeah, this was kind of a little bit, well, let me see, hold on. Oh, okay, sorry. This was long, this was medium, and this was super short. Sorry about that. So the medium one and the short one, it didn't vary that much in how they performed. I can't see it because this dialogue box is in the way, but that's kind of an example of what it looks like in terms of the engagement that you're going to get with the comments. With the caption, excuse me. And oh, this is the last one. This is our last type of content. I included this one because we're businesses, entrepreneurs here, and digital downloads are really important because they are like lead magnets. So it's something that you can promote on your channel to say, hey, like I've talked about this. If you want to learn how to do X, Y, and Z, comment such and such, right? And I'll send you a link to your free guide on X, Y, and Z. So digital downloads, I think, are just a great way to capture people's email addresses so that you can share other services. So purpose, yes, provide additional value, capture email addresses. They can be a revenue stream in and of themselves if you decide to sell them. And it can also establish you as a thought leader in your industry, which is great for LinkedIn. It's great for Instagram too. I want to show, this is kind of one, oh, that was my surprise for you all today. Yes. So I have put together a PDF that is Content Creation 101. It's a list of different tools to help you create content for your brand. So it has a list of editors that you could use, which we're going to go over some today. It's got great cameras. I personally still use my iPhone 99.9% of the time. But you'll see there are some, there's like this one camera, and I've linked to it in there, but it's one camera that you can actually add on top of your iPhone to enhance the quality a little bit. And that's a great way if you don't have, you don't want to make the investment and get like $1,000, $2,000 camera. This will go over lighting, all of that. So that'll be available for download. John, I don't know if we can put we can wait till after to put the link in the chat. But that will be available, and that'll have a list to help you all start creating. Last thing before we get into demos, because like I said, we're going to go over some different software to help you actually create and show you how to create things. But your content creation space. It's important because you are presenting yourself to the world. And people tend to be easily distracted. I don't know if you've ever seen in a video where you thought the video was great and they'll be like, why does that person have all these clothes on the floor? Like, so people can miss your message and what you're actually trying to say when you don't have just a clean space. Like they might not notice, they won't ever notice when it's clean, when it's good, but they'll notice when something is wrong. So to get started with your creation space, camera, obviously. So I've got my camera here. I use my phone, like I said, but you can also have a professional one. Lighting is very important. And that's what I was telling John about earlier. So, I told you guys, yeah, I typically create right here, or I create back here. So I create a little bit further back. So my ring light is usually standing right where I'm sitting right now. So the lighting is usually a little bit better because it's directly on me. Ring light, you can use panel lights. So if I had they're like little square lights that you can tape to your wall, for example. A tripod. So this is my tripod. I think it goes up to about 5 or 6 feet. So it's very simple tripod, and it gets the job done. It does exactly what I need to do. But there are other tripods. If you're working, doing content that's on a desk, there are some tripods where the phone will go up here and it allows you to attach it to the desk. And that's linked in that guide as well. But yeah, your content, like I said, that will dictate what type of tripod that you end up using or what type of mount that you use. Microphone, that's not a given if you are typically in a quiet space. So I don't use a microphone. I do have one if I need to. But sometimes when you're starting out, using a microphone, if you're not the best with editing, using a microphone can be it can be an extra step sometimes, because what do you do if you got a lot of feedback through the microphone, right? Then you have to go into more advanced tools like Adobe Audition and figure out how to cut out the feedback, right? Or the echo or whatever it is. So like a microphone's great, but if you're just starting out, sometimes it can be a little bit more of a hassle than it's worth getting started out. Just make sure you're in a quiet place that is like, there's not really, my padding is really my clothes in a sense, right? So there isn't an echo that's created, but it still allows me to project. So yeah, that's what I would say. And this is just examples. So make it clean and organized, quiet. Light is in front of you, not behind you. This is coming from the side, which is fine. It's not the best. Like I feel like if I shot with my iPhone with this lighting, it would probably be a little bit grainy, as opposed to if I had it in front of me, it would be a little clearer. Film continuously when you're speaking. So I know sometimes, like if you're going to be someone who's speaking in front of the camera, when we mess up, you think, oh, let me like stop it and start over. That is going to start to waste time. The best thing that you can do is you're talking, I made a mistake, pause, start back over and keep going. It helps when you keep rolling because it'll make editing so much easier. And I'll show you guys that when we get to the demo step. Content creation, yeah, okay, so I did put it in here, the download. You guys will see that. That will help with getting everything set up. Let's see, okay, diving in. John, do we want to do the 5-minute break here before demo, and that'll give me time to get some things set up?
Yeah, we can do that. Does anyone need 5-minute break? And we'll let you set up, and if there's any questions, we'll answer as well.
Okay, yes.
Any questions, anyone?
I wish we had like some Jeopardy music too for the 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will
I have one question. Do you thank you for sharing all this. Do you do any other job or you focus on this primarily?
So I have my influencing, I do social media consulting on the side, and I do currently still have my full like 9-to-5 job. That is something where I'm working to not only replace that income, but also surpass that income before I feel comfortable completely leaving and doing content creation full time. But I work in a marketing capacity for my 9-to-5.
Okay. Yeah, so the reason why I'm asking the question is based on everything you've thought, putting all that content out there and then still doing work. Like where do you get that kind of time?
Yeah. Listen, you're in my therapist's mind. She asked me that today. She said, "How are you managing all this?" So I am a big fan of planning. So with the content, what I think will be great for everyone getting started, I would try to plan your first 2 weeks of content, like do the creation for that first 2 weeks. And then every kind of week, you're doing a little bit at a time. But if you can have that initial, like, I would say 14 to 21 days, that'll help you at least get jump start. And then when it comes to managing, which we'll talk about that webinar in a couple weeks as well. I use Airtable. Airtable is like an Excel spreadsheet on steroids, but it allows me to know like, okay, here's what I'm doing for my blog. Here's what I'm doing for Instagram. Here's a partnership I have going on. It just, I don't know. I guess I kind of have them on two sides. So like 9-to-5 is here and I keep that at 9-to-5. And then everything else is in the Airtable and I just switch. My brain just kind of switches over and that Airtable helps with that. So I hope does that answer your question?
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Yes, it does. Thank you.
It'll definitely take some time. And I think so. I'm the person who I'm working with who's starting the media company here in Chicago. So I'm working with her to create a social media strategy. But the first thing we're doing is helping her organize. So I think thinking about all the different parts and like actors within your company, like again, I don't know, like for her, it's a little bit different, but she has like operations and then she has content and she'll have speakers for anything she's doing in person. So figuring out like what are the overarching ways in which I'm going to be creating content and then kind of getting more granular and going deeper and deeper. And I find it helps with the pen and paper to start with because you can't, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know who is trying to talk about me.
Oh, okay. But I was just gonna say it helps, like it's hard to create something that you haven't yet seen. So it can be really helpful to get a pen and paper and just visually write out kind of what's going on. And then that'll help you pick and pull, like, what is it? Pick and choose what you want to put in your digital strategy, if that makes sense.
Yes,
And
thank you.
Ellie, quick question. I'm sure like, with your busy schedule, you use a lot of scheduling as well. Do you find that it's important to post at a certain time of the day where there's more engagement versus like, overnight when it's like maybe 2 in the morning when no one's up and checking the social media posts?
Definitely don't post at 2 in the morning. I think that because you'll see all these websites that talk about the best time to post. But what I really think you want to pay attention to is given your niche, when are people in your niche online? So LinkedIn, for example, typically Wednesdays, because I used to be a recruiter before this, so we did a lot with LinkedIn. So Wednesdays, right around lunchtime, like that was the best time to post because that's when my audience was checking their phone. Today with my Instagram, I typically post anywhere between 5 and 6 o'clock. Like that's the best time. If I post something earlier and oh, I forgot it does that with the fireworks when I do this. But I find that with Instagram, the best time to post is around 6 p.m. Yeah, 5 to 6 p.m. If I do something earlier in the day, maybe 12 p.m. So that's come from, I would say starting out, this is, well, I didn't want to say this because this would be a lot. So if I were going to like completely start over, completely, I know I said something different before, but I didn't want to overwhelm y'all, but I'll tell you now, I would actually try to post 3 times a day for the first 90 days and see when, like, just try different times and see what performs well when. I will say though, because like I said, that's a lot to start out with. If you don't have somebody, if you're doing this by yourself, that's really not, and you have a, full-time job or whatever it is, you have family, like it's not really feasible. So again, just the one, like 5 times a week is a good place to start. But I would test out the times that you're posting and see what performs well when. Yeah, that's kind of how I would do it. And we'll talk about the scheduling more in detail, like I said, within the, because I'm doing the social media management, right?
Yeah.
That one's in 2 weeks. So I'm doing that webinar as well. We'll talk more about that. I have used like Hootsuite and Planoly. Like I said, Airtable is kind of my main thing. And like you might be surprised, but right now I do lean towards posting myself. And I'll explain why in the second webinar. But there are platforms to help make this a lot easier. That kind of answer the question, John?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Thank you. We'll let you do your thing. Get ready then.
Let me give me a few minutes because I'll start out with on the computer and then I'll need to switch to my phone to show you some of the different apps. I think what makes a great tool is its transportability or its portability. So if I can go from working on my computer to my phone, that's perfect for me. Even sometimes when I'm just walking into the other room, I might pick up on a different design. Let me see. I think I will switch to, how do I switch? Okay, here we go. So for our first tool, and I think I have it here. Yeah, so we're going to be going over Canva, InShot, CapCut, and ChatGPT. So I'll do Canva and ChatGPT together, or at least on the computer, because you can do both of them on the computer. And then CapCut and InShot we'll do using my phone. So I'll show you some things there. Let's see, Canva. Okay, so this is Canva. Is everybody familiar with Canva? How many of you are familiar with Canva? There's not a hand raising tool. Okay, on here. I'm thinking about Teams. Oh, there is one. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, awesome. So we're all familiar with Canva. Canva, I love it. It is a content creator. It's a social media manager / content creator's dream, because anything that you need to design, you can do so using Canva. And I need to just move this over a little bit. And everybody can see this screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Canva, you can do, and I love how they have like different documents. You can do presentations on here. Social media, this is great because you don't have to think about what are the right dimensions for which platform. Canva's already got it all figured out. So if you want to do an Instagram post, so this will be something in your feed, probably a picture. They already have the dimensions set, and then they have all of these different templates on the left-hand side. I mean, this is great for idea generation. Like maybe you don't want to pull something immediately from here, but like maybe I really like the way this quote is done. You can upload your brand identity. So I have all my different colors in here. I have my logos, I have the fonts that I prefer. I have photos. So there's like certain photos I'll use of myself for when I'm doing marketing stuff, as opposed to like my fashion stuff. And then you can add different graphics if there's any sort of graphic that's that you're going to use with your post every time. So if I really like this one, hey, I want to just make it my colors, right? So you click on this and it does all these different colors. And then I know my font is Bodani. So you go in here, let me change it, type in Bodani. Oh. And then we'll do this, and you can kind of you can play around with it. And maybe you like the way that they do it. I don't know. But I think you have to edit it a little bit because you have a certain brand identity. So it's like, yeah, I did like the font that they had, but that's not the font that is usually on my page. So I am very big on branding and making sure that everything is consistent, because it's another one of those things where, again, people won't notice when you do it, but they will notice when you don't. And I think it creates great branding creates continuity for your audience. It lets them know what to expect, or when they see something, they'll immediately know it's you. So I think that's very important. But yeah, this is, a way that I would make this Instagram post. Let me see, this dialog box is in the way. I don't know how to get rid of that. Okay, so then if I wanted to I'll show you some things that I've actually done instead of going off the cuff here. So the toolkit that you guys are going to see. So I created that in Canva. And the premium version for this is, I think it's $120 a year for one person. And I forget how much it is for each additional person, but there's so many images that you get for free. I mean, I use this so much, it's so worth it. So I would definitely recommend, if you can get the premium version, it's just going to open up like so many images. So this image came with it. I was able to download this for free, didn't have to license it. All the images in here, right? And so then I put it all together. You do the text in here, like everything you can do in Canva. Now, I want to know too, because I want to make sure this demo is relevant to you. So what is something that you would like to see me do in Canva?
So how do you finally get the many pages to post on social? I don't know how to put it in words though, but you showed us something where it's not just one
Oh, the
image.
carousel.
Yeah, that one.
So I actually have one. Let me go to are we at my designs? Oh no, go back. Okay, let me find one of my carousel posts. Okay, so this is the one I shared with you. So this one, you'll create the first image, you'll click the plus here to add the page, and then you'll move on to the second image, create that one. So create as many pages as you'd like. And then I'm just gonna move this dialog. Oh, let me actually, oh, perfect. Okay, I moved it to the bottom. Okay. So you create as many images as you need. And then when you do share, you're gonna do download here. And this is where you'll select. So what the great thing about Canva being on your computer and mobile, because this is something I didn't think about starting out, but if there's so many things I do differently if I could go back. And one of them is I would be conscious of storage. So what I typically do is I'll create something on my computer and then I'll download it on my phone. So that way it's not like, okay, create it on my computer, download it on my computer, send it to my phone, then it's on my phone. Not only do you have it in double, both places, but it's so many extra steps in between to do that. But I'll show you on the computer because it'll just be easier to show you here. So you decide, is it going to be, if you want separate images, you're going to do PNG or JPEG, and that'll download them into a folder and everything will show. And I don't know if I do it, will it show? Let me show, I'll try to download it now. Let's see. Let me see. Let me. Okay, good. Can you see this? I don't know if it's showing it.
Yes.
Okay, so it's downloaded all of the images individually. And that's what you would post onto your Instagram. Is you make sure they were ordered correctly. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that does. Okay.
So that's how you would do that. You can even do a lot with video. I remember when Canva came out with a lot of different things for video. So these were the highlights that you saw, the green ones on my Instagram. So I created them in Canva. I shot the videos on my phone, edited them in InShot, uploaded them to Canva through my phone, and then I wanted to add them into like cool little, backgrounds like this one.
Welcome to my page. My name is Ellie Mariyo. I'm all about inspiring.
So that, that's kind of an example, and it has the cool, this is a template that I got on Canva. So it's got this cool like visual quality to it for the stories. Very simple with my mission. My style is kind of evolved. It used to be a lot of colors, this and that, but it's a little more minimalist now. What to expect from my page. So this is all like video that you can do on here. And like I said, this is kind of the structure of how it would look. And I downloaded each of these on my phone. I download them individually. And that's just because when I'm doing my highlights, I like to check each highlight and make sure it's exactly as I would like it to be. So I'll download them individually as opposed to together. But here's different, like it's all these different templates. So something I'm working on right now is I have a new blog post coming out with plus size Valentine's Day outfits. So I'm trying to figure out what, how do I want to announce that in my stories or in a post? So there's all these different templates for, hey, this new post, or if you have, let's see, you just type in a word. So it's like promotion. So then we have, add this back, add another page. So here we have like sale, 50% off. Or no, I like this one instead, and it'll just switch them right out for you. So there's so many podcasts, right? Like how cool are these? All these different templates, and all you have to do is go in here and just change the text. This one's a little bit more, this is a little different, but they have like a little layer over it. Yeah, but you can, there's no limit. Sorry, I keep hearing something. I keep thinking somebody's trying to speak. But there's no limit to what you can do in Canva. So we did the ebook in here, and so this was my other ebooks, and I'm just showing you to kind of show how robust of a tool this is. I want to show you the grid view so you can kind of see all the pages at once. But this is an ebook that I designed completely using Canva. I would kind of pick and choose different templates and then make them my own. So that's what I love about Canva. If nothing else, Canva is an idea generator. Like if you like designing stuff, then Canva will help you that much more because it'll just give you ideas of how to put certain information, how to how to design certain information. But this was all done in Canva. The text, everything was done in Canva. Let me see. Anything else you want me to show you? I just want to, I don't know if I should walk through, because I've kind of shown you different types of content you can do in here. This is something I have done, and this is a good idea. Oh, we have a hand raised. Yes. Please come off your mic. I can't see the chat if you can.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Ellie. This has been really great. And I'm so grateful for just being able to be in this class because I have completely gotten anxiety with social media now. Like even when I hear about it, I'm like, I'm over it because I've felt like I've tried so much. So I love just the Canva ideas you're sharing. My question is, I was in the fashion industry before, and doing social media was fun. Like when I look at your social media, I see it being fun, exciting. It's just your life. Now
Yes.
my social media has pivoted. Like it's really about my business and what I do. And I love what I do, but I just have really hit a wall with how to translate it into fun content. Like I'm like, okay, well, I see some good ideas, but I feel like when I've tried to kind of recreate it, it's not like my authentic. And I like being very authentic. And I feel like, okay, that's not me. I don't want to point at screens and tell people where to get grants. Like, there's so many things I could do, but I'm just really stuck with how to make it creative. And I don't know if there's any tools that you can share, like if I have like topics that maybe I have that I can go to a tool and drop my topics and it gives me content or captions or just any ideas in that way. Cause I just feel like I'm hitting a roadblock, and I'm at the point where I just don't know how to make it fun. Like when I look at yours, it seems so fun. And I just want to get to that place of making it fun again. So
Yeah.
any advice there would be really helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is a great question. This kind of would lead us to ChatGPT a little bit because ChatGPT is another, again, I refer to these tools as idea generators. They're not replacing humans. They're not taking away, they're not doing the work for us, but they're allowing us to just generate some great ideas. So I maybe we should move over to ChatGPT, but I do want to answer your question here really quickly. Man, so sometimes I will say it's not fun. The creating the content, it can be a little bit like, I know I need to do this. And, I know what this is going to mean to, and that's kind of what I say at the beginning. When you're focusing on what it's going to mean to your audience, that helps with making it a little bit more fun in that sense. But I also think you were just talking about like finding a way to communicate the information that's authentic to you. So can you tell me a little bit more about what you do? Like what information are you trying to communicate?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Yes, that's exactly it. I guess I couldn't find the words, but yeah, I really help small businesses either with, I have two different lanes. I help career professionals really be able to find that ideal job, be successful, resume writing, career coaching, and I do small business coaching. I also help entrepreneurs get into government contracting. So I help them get certified and understand how to grow their business. And I run a consulting firm where I do a lot of state government contracts. I have a lot of amazing small business partners that help us carry forth the work. So really my goal is I want to do more because my money is mostly generated from my state government work and the project-based services, but I really want to do more one-on-one coaching or cohort model coaching where I'm able to teach people how to create their own, space like I have. And I just feel like I've hit a wall. Like I've created a content, but I just don't know how to make it fun. Like I said, so that's kind of my space I'm in, and I'm hoping to turn it into something where I can teach businesses how to do these things. So thank you. Any advice will be appreciated.
Because I was hoping, like, if I heard what you said, like, maybe I could give you some ideas, but then there's still, like, it's like we just met, there's so much I still don't know about you. So this actually reminded me of something I think is really important for everyone. And this is, before I grew the 95,000 followers in like all last year, before I did that, this is what I did. And it really helped me. Like, I never ran out of content ideas after I did this one thing. So it's something called the 3 threes. So when you are thinking about your content, you want to think about what 3 content pillars. So for me, that was fashion, it was health and wellness, and lifestyle. Those were my 3 pillars that I wanted all of my content to focus on. And lifestyle is a great one because I can talk about my dating life. I can talk about, travel. I can talk about a lot of stuff within lifestyle. I can do days in the life. So fashion, health and wellness, lifestyle. Those are my 3 pillars. That's the first 3. The second 3 is, what are 3 emotions that you want people to feel when they come to your page? Excuse me. I want people to feel joy. I want them to feel understanding. And I forgot my third one at this moment, but it's 3 adjectives that describe how when someone comes to my page, I want them to feel joy and I want them to feel understood, and whatever the third one is. So 3 content pillars, 3 adjectives you want people to feel when they come to your page, and then 3 core values. So what are 3 of your core values? For me, it's community, open-mindedness, and mutual respect. So I make sure all of my content not only embodies those values, but I also share those values with my followers. I saw a hand pop up. Is it Osei? Is that what I said?
Yes, it was me. Yeah, it was me. I
Yes,
was
okay.
actually trying to put an emoji and I hit the hand. So
Oh, that's
sorry.
okay. No, but was that helping though? The 3
That
3.
was That was very helpful, because I think, if you can just find what you center on, that's a good start. And then I won't get distracted by anything else. Because
There you
like
go.
you said, there's so much that you can get distracted on. So that was very helpful. Thank you so much, Ellie.
Not even about not getting distracted, but it's like, if you know your 3 threes, and I'll say them again, 3 content pillars, 3 adjectives you want people to feel when they come to your page, and 3 core values that you as a person have. When you know those 3 things, you might see a trend, but now you know how to adapt that trend to you and not feel like you're, oh, I'm forcing myself to do this trend because it's popular and everybody's doing it. Like, you can now make it your own because you know what you stand for. I mean, I think that's something that's very important with social media. It's not something that we talk about enough when you're getting started on social media. It's very important to know who you are, what's important to you, and what you stand for, because that's information that's going to come across in the way that you convey information to your followers. People can tell. What was I reading? I was reading something, but they were talking about how, like, people can tell when you don't like people, if you know what I mean. Like, it was this famous like editor. He's like, I can read I can read one of their stories and I can immediately know whether or not they like people. Oh, I was listening to how to win people. What is it? How to win friends and influence people. That's what I was listening to. And so he was talking about that. So you really want to know who you are, because that's pretty much the audience that you're going to be attracting. And then that's what I love about social media, is for all of its faults, what it does provide is a platform and a space where your tribe will always find you. So you always find somebody like you. And I think it just shows that we are not, in fact, ever alone. So I hope that the 3 threes really helps. That's something that, like I said, before that, I was struggling to figure out, like, well, what do I want to say and what do I want to post and how do I want to do it? But doing those 3 threes, it made coming up with content ideas, executing on them that much easier. And one last thing I would say with your stuff, I don't know if you're familiar with Ellie Talks Money. It's not me, it's another Ellie, but
No, I'm not.
yeah. So Ellie Talks Money. She has like different courses where she'll share grants. I don't know if she does one-on-one coaching, but I think looking at her page and how she does her videos may give you some ideas for how you can apply it to your own stuff. And then looking at her flow, her I would say, what is the word? Her funnel, right? Like how does she go from video to acquiring a customer? So going
Yeah.
through the workflow, that could be a really good example. And I
Oh,
would say
thank
that for
you.
anyone, yeah, for anyone doing consulting, any sort of if you want to do online courses, like Ellie talks money. She's a really good person to look at for seeing that flow. Okay, let me see. Let's go to Chat GPT or any other questions actually before I move on for Canva. Anything else we want to see on Canva?
Yes. So for Canva, if you wanna, so do you actually use this to edit videos as well? And how long of a video can you edit on Canva?
So I don't use Canva to edit videos. They don't really have a robust video editor. The most you can do is cut the video from the end. So if you have something you put up on in the middle, can't cut it.
Oh, okay. And then secondly, do you also use this to create intros?
What do you mean? What type
Like
of
intros for like YouTube videos?
Oh, like you could do the thumbnails. You talking about like the picture?
No, you know, typically like most YouTube videos that I watch, I see it, they typically have a customized standard introduction
Okay.
thing that will play before the actual content. So
I
that's what I'm trying to know.
Yeah. So I would use Canva for the thumbnail, but for the intro, so because I did YouTube, I kind of like, well, when I first started with everything, I tried to do everything at once, which I would not recommend trying to do every platform. So that's one thing. But when I was doing it, to your point, right, I did have, this is what I'm going to say at the beginning of every video. I would do that more so in InShot, or if you're familiar with Adobe Premiere, but InShot is probably, I'm going to go over InShot today, and that's going to be the more intuitive platform when it comes to editing. So I edited all of my YouTube videos in InShot. So that's what I would use to do it, and I'll go over that later. I do want to, I want to get to Chat GPT. Let me give myself, 13 minutes for that. So I'll try to do 15 minutes on each tool. So we have time left. Anything else from Canva though?
So I just want to add on intro, like, we're not going to, for us to be business owners, entrepreneur, we're not going to have all the expertise in video production. But what I like to do a lot is utilize freelancers who are specialized in videography, creating intros for you. So utilize them to create what you want, and they'll send you a video. All you do is clip that video, add on to whatever video that you create, and that will be intro, right? So these intro videos, you could go to Upwork, Fiverr.com, and find someone who specializes in creating these intros for you to the way you like it. And then once you have the intro, you can add that on to every video that you post going forward.
I think that's a great point, John. I'm so glad you brought that up, because you reminded me of, like, again, when I was doing YouTube, when I just started, I did hire someone so if you have a logo, I hired someone to animate, and I think I used Fiverr. I didn't use Upwork, I used Fiverr, but I hired someone to animate my logo and add music to it. And yeah, I just told them, here's what I would like, and they sent me a few different options. So I'm so glad you brought up freelancing and hiring people, because to your point, as entrepreneurs, we do tend to do a lot. So anything that you can delegate or outsource is a win. So I'm so glad you said that. Okay, let's move from Canva, because I don't want to miss, like, I want to make sure we have enough time to do InShot, because the InShot, that's my favorite video editor. It's on your phone. It's so intuitive. It's like, I love it. Okay, I went to the wrong app. Let me go to, Chat GPT. There we go. Okay, so we're here with Chat GPT. This is going to help us with captions, blogs, ebooks. The ebooks that I showed you, aside from the one that I created for today, what my fashion ebooks, those are like 70 pages a piece. I used Chat GPT quite a bit to help me in writing those. So Chat GPT is generative AI, and I think you all had a session where you learned what that means. But basically, you input something, like I might say, write a song about entrepreneurship, for example. Right? So you input some sort of prompt, and ask it to do something. So right now it's thinking. And then here we go. It just spits out a whole song. In the heart of a city or a small town dream, there's a spark of vision, a fantastic scheme. Like, it's pretty good. So this is kind of the power. I mean, look how quickly it wrote this song. And you know, you don't have to, like I said, accept everything that they put out, but you can use it to generate ideas. And so one of my favorite ways to use ChatGPT is so here's something when I was, I did use it. So importance of good lighting, right? So asking it, hey, what is the point in having good lighting? And they spit out 5 different reasons to do that. Or if I'm writing my blog, right? So I'll ask it, and I want to try to show you how I do it. What's the best one that I did recently? Maybe you can ask it to do code as well. I want to find a good one. No, not this one. This one. Okay, here we go. So I asked ChatGPT. Here we go. I want to show you the prompt because this is what I think when you just give it a regular prompt, it might come out sounding a little bit too much like a machine, or it might just be redundant. Sometimes I find ChatGPT can just repeat the same thing and just say it different ways. So you don't want that. So what I found is most helpful, like let's say you have an idea and you come up with a paragraph worth of that idea. So what you can then say to ChatGPT is say, hey, take the following statement and expand it to 1,000-word or 2,000-word blog posts. Talk about this, talk about that. Like, you know, make sure that you include new resources, make it engaging, make it a little bit witty. You can even say act as if. So you can say act as if you were Oprah, you know, writing this blog post. Act as if you were Gary Vaynerchuk. Act as if you are whoever's your, you know, one of your favorite marketing or copy, like content people. Act as if you are this person and write this blog post. So I input, this is something that I just wrote, like this is the idea that I had, right? So I input this paragraph, this section, and this was all that I had written. And I said, okay, expand it to 1,000-word blog posts. And so then with the output, it sounded more human. It sounded more like me because I input some of myself in the prompt. Does that make sense? And did they do the course on generative AI, John? I saw that. They did talk about it.
Yeah, we did the AI digital marketing probably 2 months ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's not familiar with ChatGPT or who's not following? Are we all good? And this is a safe space too. There's no shaming in here for not knowing.
Yeah. And then there's a big difference between ChatGPT 3.5, the free version, and the paid version, ChatGPT 4 as well. So, you know, it's a lot more powerful and it creates a lot better content as well.
ChatGPT 4 is $20 a month, and I recommend it because honestly, the biggest thing is your prompts will remain private. So the normal ChatGPT, my understanding is that those prompts, they're technically public. So if you're putting in, you know, clients' email addresses or, you know, your name or whatever, like that data could be, you know, it's not private, right? So someone could find that data. So I like ChatGPT 4. I like paying for the premium version just for privacy. So I do recommend that. And to this point, right, it is much more robust. There was actually, I had it create a graph, I think, for me. I wanted to show you all what to post where. Let me see, was it this one? Here it is, yes. Look at this. It put together, I said, create a chart explaining the different content types and what platform they would be best for. Look at that. So this was great in helping me organize my thoughts for that, because I was like, there's so many things I want to talk about, and I want to make sure I do it in an organized way, right? So ChatGPT is great for that, right? If you have all these ideas, you put it in there, you say, hey, if I want to create an ebook, what would be the strategy for creating an ebook? Who has a prompt? Who wants to try a prompt out and we'll get it to spit out something? Let's see, you were talking about, you were talking about content ideas for grant writing. So let's say, act as if you are a small business consultant, advising entrepreneurs on how to find grants that could benefit their business, something like that. Write a video script for Instagram explaining the process, or I don't know much about grants, so you're probably coming with a better prompt than I do, but explaining the process of what is it, of getting a grant, winning a grant. I don't know the terminology. And let's see what it comes up with. So the title is Unlocking Business Grants, a guide for entrepreneurs. Opening scene. And they went all in with this video script. A cozy, well-lit home office setting. You're seated comfortably, looking approachable and professional. Hello, entrepreneurs. And it's still going. Today, we're diving into a topic that could be a game changer for your business, finding and securing grants. Let's unlock this opportunity together. Cut to a slide, right? Where it says understanding business grants. So this is a whole video script. And if you all have seen, if anybody's gone to my page already, I script out pretty much all of my videos. It's still me, it's still what I want to say, but, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think some people think it's inauthentic if you write the script, but the way I think about it is I only get so much time to share something with my audience. I want to make sure that I'm saying exactly what I want to say in the way that I want to say it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with scripting videos. If that's what you need to do, you can do that. There is an app on your phone called Teleprompter. It's called Video Teleprompter that you can download, and it will turn your it'll turn your phone into a teleprompter basically, and you can read it while you're filming, and it looks very natural. What I do, and I'll show you this when we get to video editing, I actually have the script on my iPad, and I will just read a little bit at a time. So I say, hi, my name is Ellie Mariyo. I'm this, and that, and I'll pause, and then I'll look over, and then I'll read I'll memorize the next part and read that part. It's not really memorizing. It's just like, because you still wrote the words, so you kind of already know them. But again, any questions, anything anybody wants to try with ChatGPT? Is this making sense? John, do you think anything else I need to go over?
No, this is good. Anyone have any questions?
And we'll say, use this video script and write an Instagram caption. Let's see. Be sure to include relevant hashtags. And there, you can play around with the wording in your prompt. The output is only as good as your prompt. So some people will have these prompts that might be, 1,000 words, but it tells ChatGPT exactly what to do. So you can play around with them. This is a caption, ready to elevate your business with grants. Dive into our latest video where we unlock the secrets to finding and securing grants tailored to your business. It's pretty good. Like, and then it's got the hashtags already at the bottom. I kind of double check these because sometimes they'll just use hashtags straight from the text and not like actual high performing hashtags. Okay, so I'm going to move on from ChatGPT because I want to make sure we have some time for questions at the end as well.
So about the teleprompter, which specific one is that? I'm trying to download it.
This is ChatGPT. So I think the actual link is it's chat.openai. I think that's, yeah.
No, I mean the teleprompter. I'm asking about the teleprompter.
The video teleprompter. Oh, let me see if I can actually show it to you on here. Here it is. Yeah, video teleprompter. I think it has Android. Do they have Android? Oh, it might be on iOS actually, but I know there's an Android equivalent. So this is what it looks like. This is the icon here for video teleprompter. Okay. So yeah, that's if you're going to script it out and you want to still look, like you're talking to the camera. and you can change the speed at which it goes. And it's great for, like I said, when you're talking, da, 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 don't stop and start. Just, you can touch the screen, it'll pause it, take a deep breath, start over, and keep it going. So the video teleprompter is really good for that. Okay, so that's ChatGPT. Let me log on. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to log on my phone so that I can show you InShot. Video editing. I just want to show you all the platform, but I will kind of edit a little video. I'm going to mute myself. Okay, can we hear me? Oh, let me mute that. There we go. Okay, so can everyone hear me? Everything's in, no echo, all that?
Yes, we're good.
Awesome, thank you. So let me share my screen. Start broadcast. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So InShot, this is what it looks like. This is it's the last one in the middle, or the last row, the middle icon. And I turned on my do not disturb, which swipes away everything. So InShot is, oh, and I'll just say this too, my Instagram notifications, make sure you're going in, just depending on how you're going to show up on social media. We know social media is a double-edged sword, right? So you can go in and tailor your notifications to, like, I only get notifications when somebody likes my post or when it's a friend who comments. So somebody that I follow comments on my post. Those are only notifications I get. So I have to actually go in the app to see any other notifications. And that's just another one of those ways to lower the anxiety when it comes to social media, but it's also a management tool as well. Like, you don't want to be checking your social media every single time somebody comments. So that's very helpful. So InShot, this is my favorite video editing app. Like I said, you can do stuff for YouTube on here. I literally would record YouTube using my phone just like this, and I would edit it in InShot. So we're going to take a video. I'm just going to grab one that I have on here. Those are already edited. Let me find an unedited version. So this one, I think this might be the one. Okay. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but here's where we're starting with the video. So immediately you can see the different interface. So Canvas, this is going to change the size. So if I wanted one for YouTube, then I would change to the 16:9 orientation. This is the same thing as TikTok. This is the orientation. So Instagram photos are actually 1:1, and you can do 4:5. I still like 1:1 because their grid is 1:1. When you go on your page, the grid is 1:1. So if you use 4:5, if you don't have stuff positioned correctly, it might cut off some of your text. So I still use 1:1 a lot, but you can do 4:5 as well. You're able to zoom in and zoom out. I could even change the background. So this one, maybe I just want, maybe I just want this background where it's just myself. This one I have it blurred. That's like the default setting for that. Let's see, ratio, again, any type of orientation, 4:3, 2:3, whatever you need, you can do. This was made for Instagram and TikTok, so we're gonna keep it 9:16. Music, they do have, it's royalty-free music on here. They just ask that you, in the caption, include, they'll give you the information to include, but I think I used Ixen, maybe it was this one, for my stories videos. No, it wasn't this one, but you can see all the music. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's music in here as well. Let's see. You can record, and this is when I do my voiceovers. And when you do it in InShot, so if you do a video, you have all these different things that you've said, that you've filmed, and now you just want to do a voiceover. So what I do, instead of immediately doing the voiceover, I will actually add a blank page I'll extend it. Like maybe I'm going to do 30 seconds worth of speaking. So I'll just grab this little icon and I'll drag it to about 30 seconds. And then I'll go to the beginning, I'll press on music and I'll press record. So this one, I usually hold the phone just like, and you can see the video right here. And I mean, you don't need a microphone with this one. It still comes out great quality. Like I said, it depends on what you're doing, but I think starting out, if you can do stuff in InShot, if you don't need a microphone, you don't need all these crazy things, it'll help getting started. It'll help, you get started a lot faster. There won't be so many barriers to you just getting out there and doing it. So this is me recording, well, I guess I can't record while I'm on the phone, but typically I will record, and then what I'll do when I record, I'll record first the sound. I'll go, I wish I could show, I'll add some music to kind of show you just how you can chop up. Because I want to show you, like, when you record it, you're able to, it looks similar to this, and you're able to like split it, and then you can go in and edit it. And let's say I split like this really short clip here. So I can go in and edit this small section. It'll usually expand it in the editor, but you go in and edit a small section. So I take out, when you're talking, you naturally do, or you might like smack your lips. So I take out like big breaths and I take out lip smacking. And that's how you'll see people get those like really clean cuts, because they'll take out those big breaths and any sort of lip smacking. So that's what I'll do. I'll edit the audio first, and then I'll go to the video next. And I'm just going to cut this off. So then I'll go to the video next. So you'll exit out of that. And now if I want to, so there I am waving. So that's how I wanted to start out. Getting everything together. Like all this is done on camera. Right, so I'll start there. So I'll go back and I'll scroll over where it says split. So you split the video and I delete that next part.
Welcome to my page. Welcome to my page. My name is Ellie Mariyo.
So we kind of messed up a little bit. So stop there and I'll go back. It becomes a lot, but do you see why it's easier to do a continuous video instead of like doing the video, oh, I messed up, let me stop it. Doing the video, oh, I messed up. Because then what you're left with is a lot of separate clips that you have to upload. And then you're seeing yourself, right? Like if you're pressing the button every single time, then that's more editing that you have to do. So sometimes it's easier to just do continuous through and then edit. So I messed up here. So you can either press the slip button again, or you can drag it over to where the line is, that cursor. You can drag it over.
Welcome to my page. My name is Ellie Mariyo.
So I'm like, okay, that's good. I really like that. And then I kind of tend to do stuff multiple times. If I'm doing something like welcome to my page, or I'm starting something out, it helps if you do it a couple times, because I feel like initially you might be like too excited, so you might be doing too much. So for me, I just like to say the first line a few different times to like settle down and get into my element. So I find that helps. So then we'll edit this and let me see. Okay, so we have all that. So maybe I'll just cut here, cut that. And I'm trying to see what else to show you. So if the volume for some reason ends up being too low, you can go to volume here. And you see what has 100%, you can raise it up to 200%. So you can make it twice as loud if for some reason there was an issue. Let's say like this short clip, let's say you do a screen recording. And this is actually how you can get trending sounds to go with your video. People will screen record the sound page on TikTok, Instagram, and then you open it in InShot, and I'm going to show you what to do. So you go back to, you select the clip, you go to volume, and there's an option here to extract audio. So you extract audio. So now you have, if it's, for example, if it's a trending sound, now you have all the music without the video, and you can add it to your video like you need to. So that just extracted all the sound, and I'll undo that. If for some reason your video, like, hey, maybe in this video, my skin is just like a little too warm for me. So I'll go to filter and then I'll do adjust. And I'll show you the preset. So they do have preset filters. I don't recommend using these. I find them that, like, when you use filters, it kind of cuts into the quality of your video. And if you're using an iPhone, you don't need anything messing with that quality. So I don't recommend using filters, but I do recommend doing adjusting. So I say, hey, my skin is looking like just really, a little too orange or something for me. So, and my videos are typically warm anyway, but I might just like tone it down a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like very slight. So that was without the filter. Yeah, it's just like a little bit of warmth taken out. You can't really tell with that one. Let's see with saturation. So if I want, oh yeah, more color, that's not good. But if I want that green dress to be a little more color, so I might do this saturation. That wouldn't be good, but tint. You just play around if you need to change the color of something. And make it look more natural. Like if you're taking a picture of a flower or a video of a flower, it might not come out as vibrant as you want. And so coming in here and messing with the saturation or the tint or the warmth, and those are kind of the lightness, these 5 right here, light, contrast, warmth, tint, saturation, they're really the only ones that I mess with just to get the image to look the way that I would like. I don't really mess with, this is like a vignette, which is if you want to make the edges darker and kind of focus in on you. But yeah, I don't really, this is if you want to make it look like a film. And it's kind of hard to tell on the screen. Yeah, I can't see it on the screen, but it makes it like a little grainy. So they have different things you can do. But I really, I wouldn't recommend messing with too many of those. As long as if your lighting is correct, then the video should come out fine. There are some effects you can do. Again, effects, less is more. So you never want to do too much. But there's like rolling. If you're doing like a transition, you might do like
Ellie, Mariyo.
Let's see if I want to do. Just trying to see.
Welcome to my page.
Like
my
you
name
might
is
do a little
Ellie.
transition. Like you might just add a little effect to make it seem like, oh, we're starting. Like there's different things you can do there. There is one that I will use is like the blur sometimes. Not for a video, but if I need to blur something out, like a photo or something, then I'll use the blur filter. Let's see. Pip is another one. So Pip, I'm just trying to show you guys the main ones that you'll need. Pip is a good one. So Pip is a picture-in-picture. So if you are going to do a video where you hold your hand up and you're like, and I want to show you my new ebook. Right? And you hold your hand up. So you'll record the video that way. And then when you're in editing, you'll go to Pip. So picture in picture. And I just want to add, you actually can add videos, but I'm going to add just like a photo. We'll add this green photo, right? So I want to show you my new ebook. So my hand's up and I'll just place it right in front of my hand. And you can set the duration. You can edit it all from the Pip screen. So you have that up as long as you need. So we'll delete that. Speed. If I'm doing a video that has like I'm not doing a voiceover to, or I'm sorry, I'm not actually talking in the camera like this one. This one I plan to, I posted it exactly like this, or I was talking in front of the camera. But if I'm doing a video where I'm either doing a voiceover or I'm just using music, I actually will speed it up just a hair. And most of my videos, like I said, they're done further back, they're done standing. So when you're trying on clothes, people don't really want to see like taking all your time. So I will actually speed the video up to like 1.5 or 2. And this is a great place to do that. They make it so easy, like I said, you just drag and drop.
Welcome to my page. My name is Ellie.
Of course, it doesn't sound good here because I'm talking, but if I'm doing a fashion video, and I might just be able to show you all an example of some, But those are the main things that you're gonna need in, yeah, all of those are the main things that you use in here. So the canvas, music, stickers. I will say stickers is oh, this is where the text is, of course. Oh my gosh. Yes, stickers, you're gonna use that too. If I want to say the best part, right. So you'll put the text there and you can change, let me go back here. You can change the color of it. So you see you have the actual text color. My border is black, so that's how I got it outlined in black. And then shadow, oh yeah, that's okay if you want like a drop shadow behind it. So my shadow's white. And you can add even a transition. You can make the text move as well. So if I want to do single letter, and I might just, yeah, make it spread it out a little bit more the time. Let's see, can have it pop in. So there's many different effects you can do with the text that will show. And then I want to show you sticker, because sticker is, they have all these different little emojis and stuff, but the camera icon, so the second to the left, or yeah, second from the left rather, you can import different images. So like I had partnership with Virgin Voyages, so I imported their image to put at the, I think it was at the end of the video in a couple of them. And so it's a sticker that will just sit there. If you have your logo, like if you're doing a YouTube video, I definitely recommend having, and I know YouTube has a way to do this now, but I definitely recommend like having your logo at the bottom of that video, or you could create one, something that has like your logo, your website, your email, and you could just put that at the bottom of every video. So sticker is another great one that you're going to be using. Let me see. So yeah, you're going to use music, sticker, text, effect, filter, maybe, and pip, split and delete, and volume and speed. Ooh, let me see. Did you guys get that? Those are like the main ones. So canvas, the first 6, we'll say. The first 6 you're going to use. And then pip, split, delete, volume, and speed. So not too many, but is that making sense too? Can you guys hear me as well? Like not being on my computer, it's gotten really quiet. So I'm like, I hope they are seeing this and hearing this. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So that is with InShot. That, like I said, you want to get in there and just play around with it, but I find it to be very intuitive. And so this is what, let me see, make sure you save it as a draft. Oh, let me show you exporting. That's one last thing, sorry. So you have created the video, you're super satisfied with the video. In the top right, you're gonna press where it has the little share button. You want to select your resolution. And I know everybody's like, okay, 4K, like 4K is the best, this and that, da, 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 da. You need to put it in the resolution of the platform. So Instagram resolution is 1080 resolution, 60 frames per second. And the reason that is, so I was doing this before, it was like the beginning of last year, I was putting my videos in 4K 30 frames per second because I was like, that's like one of the best, you know, resolutions. Like, why would I not use that? But when you upload it to Instagram, what they were doing is if it's not in their resolution, they're going to, they're compressing the file. Because if you do it higher resolution, it makes the file size bigger, right? So you see how this is now over a gig. This is a huge file. So they're going to compress that video down to their resolution. And what's going to happen is you're going to lose quality. So my videos were coming out slightly blurry. And I was like, this wasn't blurry when I, did it. It wasn't blurry when I uploaded it. Why is it looking blurry? And that's what I realized is Instagram was compressing it. So you always want to do it in whatever the resolution, like whatever the resolution is for that platform. If they allow for 4K, like I think YouTube does, then do 4K. But if they don't, keep it where it's at so they don't end up compressing it and you don't lose the quality. So that's how you export. That final video would look like, and you see I have a lot of, I use this all the time, literally. So that final video, I'll just show you on my Instagram page, actually. We'll just go on here. Let's see. Okay, so that final video went here. And there it is. So I took the video, I uploaded it through my phone into Canva, and I put it into this template. So to answer your question earlier, I would not do video editing in Canva, but you can take the videos that you do. I don't know what the full length is. I don't think you can do like feature length films with Canva. I would use Canva. If you were going to do like a YouTube video, I would edit it in InShot and then use Canva for your thumbnail. But you should be able to do quite a bit of features and music and all these different things in InShot. So that is the video editing tool that I use. I absolutely love InShot. Like I said, I use it all the time. I can't talk enough about it. The only other thing I would recommend that I wanted to show you, and I'll go back to that if we have time. I know we're running out of time. I'll keep it with CapCut is another video editor. I'll briefly just show you CapCut because I actually want to show you one other thing that wasn't on here. CapCut, I really only use CapCut. I don't use it to edit in the way that I use InShot. They do have an editor in CapCut as well, but I use CapCut for templates in TikTok. So TikTok videos, if you're scrolling through, it might see right above the person's username, you'll see, made with CapCut or try this template in CapCut. That's really the only reason that I use it, because CapCut is by TikTok. So they'll have people who are creating videos using CapCut, and then that template will take off and everybody's doing it now. So that's a cool way that I'll use CapCut, because all you have to do, so if I want to apply, I don't know what this is. Let's say we want to take this one. So all I need is a clip that is at least 4.3 seconds. You click next. And then honestly, I'm trying to stay focused. And put it that was not the best video to pick, but you can see any one of these clips. So this one, you need 4 videos and it'll tell you how many seconds. So I'll just select, 4 random videos, and it immediately edits it, does everything, all the transitions. So finding templates through there is great. And this one you can do on your computer. So CapCut has a desktop version that you can use as well. InShot is only on the phone, but they do have iPhone and Android. The last little thing I'll show you, and then we'll have 5 minutes for questions, but I know we had some questions throughout, so hopefully we don't have too many. This I didn't mention, but Captions is a great app for adding captions to your video. I don't do a lot of captions. It just kind of depends on what type of video it is. Sometimes I might do it. When I was doing my podcast, last year, I would use captions for those videos. But this is a video, for example, I did for this cleansing brush. So let me just see. Yeah, I'll show you what the captions look like. But this is the best caption app. A lot of people use this app, but it makes the captions, you can visually make them appealing, and they are so in line with what you're saying. There's not really a lot of editing that you ever need to do. Like, it's pretty accurate, and it might not let me play it because it's not gonna let me play it because I'm using my phone. But I'll see if I can I'll show you what it looks like this way. So let's see, I put my title in there and then my title disappears. So I have it here at the bottom. I'm talking about skin stuff. Yeah, so you take your edited video in InShot, you can put it in captions, and then you'll get captions that are right in line with what you're saying. You can change the look of them. So if I want the captions to look, where's it? Here we go, captions. So I want to edit the captions. You can edit the text of them. I want to edit the style of them. Let me see which one it is. Maybe I want the transitions to be, mine are kind of like fading in and out of each other, but you can have them pop. You can edit how the captions look. So Captions is another great app that will it automates things, right? In a way, you don't have to upload your script, you don't have to do any of that, and it'll be super easy to get captions on your videos. That's great for YouTube, I think. Let me just, okay. We got about 6 minutes left. That's the end of our session today for now, but I do want to leave space for questions. Because I want to make sure, like I said, what I'm saying is relevant to you. I'm going to stop sharing on here and go back on desktop. Turn my volume on. There we go. Let me log off on here. Can you hear me? There we go. Okay.
Yes.
So with these last 5 minutes, look, what questions do we have? And let me pull up.
I wanted to thank you. This was really helpful. Do you mind, Ellie, sharing the apps? Because I know, like, you'll put in caption and they'll come up a whole bunch of different things. Can you share or show the app for it? That's my question. But thank you. This was really, really helpful. I really enjoyed this.
Okay, I'll send out the links. Here are the ones. This one, these are the links to the ones that we use today. Let me see. Oh, well, will you send up a follow? Do you have a follow-up email?
Yeah. So we'll send out the follow-up and also the presentation too. So I
Okay.
can follow up with everyone as well.
Okay, perfect. So we'll have the links in there. And then, yes, any other questions? No? Okay. I feel like we had a lot throughout, so it was good stuff. John, I'll pass it over to you, and everybody, thank you so much for your time today. I've loved all the questions, and I'll see you in 2 weeks to go over social media management. So how do we make sense of all of this, right? So we'll go over that.
Right. No, thank you very much, Ellie. I mean, that was a lot of information, a lot of good information. Like even I learned some stuff that I just installed InShot to my phone just now. So I didn't really use it before, but those are all good information to have. I think we just have to play around with it and get good at it. But
Yes.
that's really how it can be simple once you get used to it. But I think everyone just needs to play around with it a little bit more. And I'm sure that there are videos out there that will teach you how to use more in-depth and detail too. But today, really, we just want to kind of expose you to what type of social media tools that we recommend that can help your business and for you to kind of manage and create your own content. So that was the whole concept of this whole workshop, is to kind of just expose you to it, for you to learn about it, and to learn from someone who has a track record like you, right? So it's important to learn that too. So yeah, really good information there. So yeah, next week we have social media analytics and reporting. It's going to be more about, if you run ads or if you have a lot of traffic, how do you digest all these traffic analytics, and how do you look at your return on investment, right? If you're a business and you're running ads, or you're trying to promote content, how do you understand the analytics and reporting? So it's going to be more on the data side of things. So we'll have someone, a special guest, to come in and who works for agency at the agency level, help teach that as well. And then we'll have Ellie back on the 31st for social media management. I think it's going to be a good one too. So with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Ellie. Our contact information is here. And again, I'll follow up with an email in terms of these PowerPoint slide, the recordings. We'll post it on the website. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And with that being said, thank you all again. Thank you, Ellie. You all have a good night, and we'll see you all next week.
Oh, I'm so excited for y'all.